Tyron Woodley and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson are going to fight at UFC 209 in March. Now, that's not really why I made this video. The reason why I made this video is because Tyron Woodley had some pretty ridiculous things to say about Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Now listen, okay, I'm all for shitting on your opponent, saying that he sucks, saying that he's a shitty person, whatever you want to claim or say. I don't really care, as long as it hypes the fight. Now, when you go straight lying, it's just ridiculous. So, Tyron Woodley, on his podcast, happened to say that Stephen Wonderboy Thompson was entitled. Now, listen, okay? Entitled is a word that's thrown around way too much in this country. Mostly by minorities who feel as though that they are being subjugated into a class of people that are being fucked with. Now, while that is true, Tyron Woodley is not one of them. He is not a part of that segment. You may have been when you were a kid growing up in Ferguson. Regardless of that, you are not along in that category anymore. You make hundreds of thousands of dollars every time you do what your job is. You have a son that you can take care of. You've got a pretty decent life built for you at this point. But what is tragic is the fact that you use that word too much. He's saying that Stephen is entitled. Listen, Tyron was at the top of the division at 170. You know, technically he should have fought Robbie Lawler much sooner. Now, that's a topic for another day. The difference is, you sat behind the desk at Fox, took another paycheck while you're doing that, and then said, okay, I'm going to wait until I can get my title shot, because I deserve the title shot. Okay, listen, Steven, at the time that you were sitting behind the desk, was going out there and murdering people. Murking folks either in the first fucking round, or he would get decisions that were just... It was very obvious that he controlled the entire fucking fight. And while that's happening, Tyron is behind the desk at Fox, waiting for a title shot. Not going out there and trying to get an immediate title shot. And guess what? It worked like a fucking charm because he got to fight Robbie Lawler before Stephen Wonderboy Thompson did. And quite fucking frankly, that was bullshit to begin with. Because, I mean, didn't fucking... Didn't Woodley not fight for a year? It was somewhere really close to... It was either over a year or it was very, very close to a year. Or, shit, it could have been half a year. I don't really give a fuck. The point is, that is not entitlement. What you explained is yourself being entitled. Thinking that you deserve a title shot. That you absolutely knew 100% that you were going to beat the shit out of Robbie Lawler, so you waited and took off months to wait for that fucking title fight. And listen, he did a great job. Killed Robbie Lawler in the first round. Okay, but the difference is, Wonderboy Thompson was fighting motherfuckers that were past champions. Past champions in, oh god, I almost forgot his name. Johnny Hendricks. Wow, that's sad. That's sad that I almost forgot Johnny Hendricks' name. He fought Johnny Hendricks, destroyed him. You know, Johnny Hendricks has been on a downswing because he can't even make 170. But the point is, he beat past champions. I mean, the matchup for Wonderboy and Lawler was a very good matchup for Wonderboy. I mean, he probably would have beaten the shit out of Robbie Lawler. He'd probably be champion right now if the UFC didn't give a fuck and stopped listening to you bitching and then finally gave you that stupid-ass title shot that you've been waiting for. And it may sound like sour fucking grapes right now. Like, I may sound very upset, but listen, I'm not that much. Like, I get that you wanted your title shot and you sat out, but you cannot say that somebody's fucking entitled when you're going around asking for these fucking money fights with Bisping and Nick Diaz and fucking GSP. You can't. They haven't fought for a long fucking time, except for Bisping. Bisping doesn't fight at 170. He fights at 180. And Tyron came out of this close-ass fight with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson that honestly could have went either fucking way. It could have went to Wonderboy or it could have went to him. That's why it was a draw. Listen, guy, like, I understand that you're upset and that you want to make some money. But listen, you didn't kill people to get this fucking opportunity. People like Conor McGregor murdered folks to get his shots, to have his money fights, to do what he wanted to do. You did not. You have not done that. You had a close fight with Wonderboy Thompson. You can't just go out and start saying, oh, I want to fight at 185 for another belt. No, you don't deserve that shot. You're not going to get that shot. And I think at the end of the day, that's why he signed the fucking papers to fight Wonderboy. He knew he wasn't going to get anywhere near that. He wasn't going to get, number one, any more money, and number two, he wasn't going to get that title shot that he wanted to get against Michael Bisping. Because, I mean, Bisping was going to fight his ass. And Bisping is another fucking person that's been pulling that same fucking bullshit. Trying to call out Nick Diaz, GSP. Actually, those are the only ones that he's called out. He said he wouldn't fight Jacare. He said he wouldn't fight Romero because of the steroid shit. Even though that was actually a confirmed, legit, tainted supplement. Bisping was being a bitch like that. And now Tyron's being a bitch like that. And, you know what? Michael Bisping, he's turned that around. He's going to go fight Yoel. And I think the reason why he did that is because he really thinks he can beat him. Tyron, on the other hand, I don't think he can. I think he hides it behind this entitlement type, I'm black, I feel this way type shit. Because the only reason why he tried to say Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is entitled is because he's white. He wouldn't say that to another black man. He's a very racist person that tries to claim that he isn't racist and then will say, oh, I'm fighting for everybody that's back in Ferguson that, they're poor and they're subjugated and shit like that. And then it's like, you're the one doing subjugating. You're saying that Wonderboy is entitled. And that's a word that you're throwing around really often because of your upbringing. Listen, buddy. You are, like I said at the beginning of the video, not a part of that classification anymore. You make hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're more than likely a millionaire. Shut the fuck up. You're okay. You're fine. You don't need any more money. To be quite fucking frank, what you need to fucking do is put your balls in your fucking nuts and go the fuck out there and fight this guy again. Because we all really think he can beat your fucking ass. And the difference between him, we think he can beat you, and the other difference of you need to prove yourself are huge. But you need to do both things. You need to either prove to everybody that you're the best that you think you are, and that you're the best that you claim that you are, or you're gonna get your ass whooped, and we're all gonna fucking laugh at you. Because it'll come out so fast that he was saying, oh man, Wonderboy is entitled. Somebody's going to say that when you get interviewed for the 209 press conference. You said that Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is entitled. How do you, what did you mean by that? And if you don't say, because he's fucking white, then I'm going to get really fucking mad. Because that's what you meant. That's what you meant. So it's very obvious that Wonderboy has gotten under his skin, and probably for good reason. Yeah, it probably is a good thing. Because, listen, you can't be Mr. Nice Guy all the time. Wonderboy is a great fighter. I think he's a better fighter than Tyron Woodley. For a lot of different reasons. Because, number one, he didn't stand against the cage in his fucking fight against, Woodley. Like Woodley stood against the cage with fucking Wonderboy. He didn't stand there and wait to try to drop a humongous bomb on, on Wonderboy. Wonderboy fought like how Wonderboy usually fights. He just you know, the motherfucker stood up against the cage and then he had one good round and then said, "Oh, I destroyed him." And it's like, no, guy. You didn't. You stood against the fence. You technically played a smart idea because that was technically what you should have done. But listen, you did not decisively beat Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. And in a way, if you didn't get that 10-8 round in the 4th round, I mean, Wonderboy would have won that fucking fight. And a lot of people didn't call that a 10-8 round. Even though it definitely was a 10-8 round, there was a lot of people that made pretty decent cases saying that was a 10-9. So Wonderboy could have won that fucking fight. You need to go into the next fight and drop this bullshit, this weird little facade that you fucking have, because everybody that is watching your podcast seems to agree with you. You need to drop this facade. You're not subjugated anymore, Tyron Woodley. You're just not. You are a wealthy black man in America. Welcome. You don't have to throw around this entitled word. Entitled. That word needs to be decommissioned. Because, quite frankly, Wonderboy is the least entitled fighter in the UFC. Considering he had to go through the 170 pound division and kill people, straight up marking motherfuckers to try to get a title shot while you sat behind the desk at Fox and got it handed to you, that really should show you who's the one that's entitled. But you're not going to think that way because I'm black and he's white. You're a racist motherfucker.